Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The New Nasty Boys. I'm your co-host this morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you decide to watch or listen to this thing, Billy DeVore, and sitting next to me is my co-host,
Chris Weir. What's up, Nasty Nation? Welcome back to the Fart Dungeon. Good to have you back here. Oh, yeah, it's real humid. More humid than normal. There's a heat wave.
I said, and a stink wave.
Yes, very much so.
Heat and stink wave after the week off. You really marinated the room.
We did, man. It's pretty great. Had a whole crew coming here.
Really
Want to make sure we stay strong going into, this part of the season.
Yeah, before we go into July and when everything starts to matter.
Exactly.
And you just, it feels like and smells like we are in playoff form.
Yeah, we're about there, baby.
Yeah, postseason form. It's good to see. Great to smell. We took the week off because I was in Los Angeles. You were in Nashville. Jake is not with us because he got back from Alaska and Seattle. He's tired. And then he also has to go to work. And we were finagling. We got a new camera. It wasn't really working. And so after like an hour figuring that out, it just did not work out. So we're here.
And we killed Jake. He is gone.
He's gone. He's actually now like one of them bearskin rugs down behind off camera.
Yeah, we did some taxidermy on Jake.
Jakeodermy.
Yeah, we just did some Jakeodermy. He's actually the camera stand now. He's the tripod.
He's the tripod. Yeah. We took one of his arms. We got to extend a couple bones. No big deal. But yeah, he's here. Not in spirit, but in physical form. He is here. So, dude, how was Nashville?
It was fun, man. I had a good time. Did 3 shows. Did 2 at Zanies, and did one Don't Tell show. And the Don't Tell show was phenomenal. Zanies was fun too. It was great. I had some hot chicken. I got food poisoning, and I would eat there again.
So, did you get the food poisoning from Hattie B's?
No, I went to Hattie B's, but it was choked. Like, it was filled with people.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I thought that you had made it through that line, but no, you did not.
No, I took a couple photos just to send to the boys, but I just walked down the block a little bit, walked into a bar, went upstairs, found a vacant spot, figured this is where people get hot chicken.
Normally, when it's an empty room, you're like, man, they really trust the food.
Yeah, this is a good sign.
And so you got salmonella poisoning.
Yeah, it was terrific. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was a great hot chicken, and I got mild. Typically, I want to go for something hot, but I figured, I don't want to have an upset stomach here.
Yeah.
Went mild. Glad I did, because I was definitely sweating eating the food, I love that.
Me
it was
too.
Great. But later on, man, I barely made it. Well, first off, going to the show for Don't Tell, there was a situation where I had to go to the bathroom, where it was just like this. I'm thinking who do I text here that I can say, hey, by the way, if you don't see me in a little while, I may have passed out in the bathroom. And it was something too where it was raining there, but when I came out of the bathroom, it was just sweat.
Yeah,
that was on me. And I was just peppering in man, this is raining all this, It's crazy.
We're flopping.
Yeah. But so did that, and then after my last set at Zanies, I stayed for a few comics, and then said my goodbyes, went out to my car, and immediately threw up.
Oof.
Now, I felt so good after that.
Oh, I bet you did. You removed the poison.
Yeah, I was hoping somebody saw me. Just goes to my car, just ralphs behind it, and he's totally sober.
Yeah, should we call the police?
Looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, he's sweating. He said it tasted just as good coming back up.
He might be the police. Let's not interrupt him.
Let's not do that.
It's the hot chicken force.
Dude, so next time you go to Nashville, Prince's is like the OG Nashville hot chicken spot. So do you know the story of Nashville hot chicken?
I do not.
Okay, so the folks story, the whatever it's called, the folktale. Thank you. Wow. The folktale is this guy was out cheating on his wife, and she was like, I'm done with you. And so instead of being we're done, finished, she created the most spicy chicken she could think of and whipped it up and then was like, here you go. Enjoy dinner. And then he ate it and just sweat through it, but then finished it and was like, this is so good.
I am never going to cheat on you again.
No, because you have made the best meal of my life. And she's like, really? And then they opened up a restaurant.
That's nice.
Yeah, so that's the story of Nashville hot chicken, and going from adultery to a chain.
Yeah, infidelity to a part of the local economy.
But yeah, man, it's like you dredge it and like there's the sauce and then the dry. Oh man, I love Nashville hot chicken from Nashville. Not like going to fucking KFC and they're like, hey, we've got Nashville hot chicken. I'm like, no, you don't. You have a hot chicken from a Colonel, but not from the city of Nashville.
Just because the people in the kitchen aren't wearing shoes doesn't mean it's from Nashville.
Yeah. They're just chewing on stalks, you know? Doesn't mean it's going to be Nashville hot chicken.
No, man.
There's a place in LA that does have like some of the best Nashville hot chicken in the world, but I was like, I'm not going there because I'm in Los Angeles. If I want Nashville hot chicken, I can drive 5 hours to Nashville.
What'd you go for in LA? Were you going for like more of the seafood?
Dude, I did the gambit. We land, and I look at Alicia, and I go, we are going to In-N-Out. And she was like, okay. Like, she's not like she likes burgers, but it's not like where I'm like, we're going to Los Angeles to eat cheeseburgers. Because, like, that's burgers in Los Angeles, synonymous. So went to In-N-Out. It was the best In-N-Out experience I've had, where the fries are actually fresh.
Okay.
They were tasty. They were crispy. They were hot. And then just got a double with animal style. And it was the best In-N-Out I've had because it was at peak lunch lush.
Lunch rush.
Runchless.
I've had In-N-Out a couple times, but I just don't recall it. I think it's just one of those things where there's just like a natural culture and camaraderie around it because it's yours.
Yeah.
Very similar to like how, we'll defend Skyline,
Yes.
with our hearts and our bodies.
Yes.
But we know it's also ultimately trash food, but it's great.
Yeah, dude, it's Greek slop, and I love it.
Sign
me up.
Yeah. So that's part of the culture out there. But what else did you get besides the burgers?
So we went there, In-N-Out, and then we went to Apple Pan, and they've been around since the late 30s, and that's an iconic burger spot. And so got I got the smoked burger. She got the regular burger, and it's like just different sauces. Phenomenal, amazing. Got some tacos. We went to Venice Beach, and she was like, "Oh, let's get oysters by the water." And so I was like, "Yeah, sounds fun." We're looking at the ocean. Oysters might be from there. We go to this like beachy spot that's like clearly touristy, trappy shit. Like a lady's out front playing an acoustic guitar covering Katy Perry, voice audition shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw that lady in Nashville.
You probably did. Yeah. They just transmuted or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, so we sit down and the music's really loud and Alicia's like, she was like, we'll have oysters. And I go, excuse me, where are the oysters from? And she went, oh, they're from Virginia.
We're going to leave now.
And I looked at Alicia like, but she couldn't like get it or hear it because of the awesome cover tune. So she's like, yeah, we'll do the dozen oysters. And then I was like, oh shit. And I leaned in and I was like, babe, did you hear where she said they're from? She was like, no, I couldn't hear it over the pink cover that's going on. She was like, Virginia. She's like, we made a mistake, didn't we? Like, yeah, we sure did. And they were fine. They weren't like spectacular, kind of like what you're hoping. But I'm guessing that oysters over there, the climate, not great for it. Doesn't get cold enough ever for the oysters to thrive. Like at
like Maine and like kind of northeast.
Yeah, and like really Pacific Northwest.
In Virginia.
And yeah, for some reason, oysters thrive in Venice Beach, fucking beach restaurant. So, but yeah, I had some of the best tacos of my life from a truck out in LA. They had like goat. I had shredded goat.
Really? I can't remember the last time I've had goat.
Dude.
Or if I've had goat.
You've had goat?
Yeah, those are like gyros.
No, that's lamb.
Lamb. Oh, okay.
Goat. I don't.
No, horse. I had horse.
Horse. No. You'd be asleep.
Yeah.
See what I did?
That was my LA experience. I had a guy out, I got on Skid Row.
Just Skid Row, and then I just leaned the whole time.
Yeah, no tables. Everyone just leans.
No.
Everyone just has like a hitching post.
Stepped up. That's also in Seattle, but
yeah. Dude, we love those cities.
They love them. Dude, it was just like, guy recommended this place, so whatever Guy Fieri plush truck in LA, I was like, we'll go find it. Found it. It was like a 30-minute drive from Airbnb. The goat was like tender and spicy. Oh man, I had that. I had beef tongue. And then I had
are those like Mexican dishes or like what are those?
Beef tongue? Oh, that's a totally like people will season those with like Mexican seasoning and slow roast beef tongue, and it shreds, and it's A little weird when you see the taste buds on it. Alicia was like, that's what I saw when I was eating my burrito. But I was like, it tasted so good, though.
It's like Highlander, I'll take your taste buds and taste them. That's such a diabolical thing.
Oh, yeah, because then I can taste what you have tasted and just experience what you have experienced through that mouth. But it was really good, man. And then LA did the Comedy Store, did a hot 3 minutes on the potluck, had a good set. And then what else did we do? We went to Dodger Stadium twice.
Yeah?
Dodger Stadium is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Mm-hmm. But getting around in there, the amenities, everything else kind of sucks.
I've never heard anyone speak highly of the logistics within and around Dodger Stadium.
Yes, it's not great.
Yeah, so you essentially get in a bottleneck no matter what you do.
So you get bottlenecks. First off, you can't, like, there isn't a metro that drops off. There is, but it's like a pain in the butt to get to, like taking a bus there. So if you have a car, you are only parking there. So it's $40 to park or $65 if you have an oversized vehicle. So that sucks. And it all bottlenecks to one spot. So it's like, it was like going to Kings Island, but 55,000 people were also going. Mm-hmm. So there's like, 35,000 cars. And then you get in and the lines are always crazy. The concourses are too small. So like when you're getting something, you're really pushed in and you're shallow. Getting to your seats, it's like we had to take 3 outside escalators and then like find the seats, which was a pain in the butt. Mm-hmm. But then when we were seated, I was like, this is so beautiful. There's mountains, the sunset. There's palm trees. This is insanely beautiful. But then I was like, do I really want to get another beer?
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. And that's something you're seeing a lot with ballparks where the price of just being in there is just gotten outrageous.
Dude, it's nuts. But like one of the things, like I finally had a Dodger dog.
Mm-hmm. Tell.
Most overrated hot dog of all time. It's just a hot dog.
What else is on it? Tell the people about the
It's just a normal hot dog. It's just a hot dog, a bun, and then you put mustard on it. But one thing that was really cool is they have these like troughs, which you know how I'm a big fan of troughs and food, buddy. Come on. And you like put your hot dog under it and then you crank and then the onions come out or your relish. That was a game changer.
That's amazing.
That was amazing. And then they had pumps for your mustard and your ketchup. I shit you not, the smoothest mustard pump I've ever used.
That gets overlooked a lot, but not in our eyes.
No, not here. Where GABP, it's like that cheap plastic Heinz pump. Dude, it was like stainless steel metal, and it just smooth and greased properly. Oh, and like I got a little feel for it first, and I went, I think I'm about to make like get the perfect amount of mustard on here, and I just nailed it.
That's great, as opposed to like the ones we got that has like the eye boogers from the last mustard day.
Yeah, it needs a new pump balloon in there because it's been deflated somehow because some kid just smashed it and was like mustard. But dude, I'm telling you, onion trough is forever the way to go with a hot dog.
I dig it. I love putting a ton of stuff on my dogs. I'll put a bunch of onions, peppers on there, hot sauce. I put ketchup on there. I fucking like a sweet dog.
Okay, you're a child.
I'm trash. I don't care. I'm eating a pig's anus right now. I'm not going to be like use a monocle when I'm doing it.
You can just get talked down to while you're eating pig sleeve.
Yeah, who cares?
Fair enough. Enjoy your hot dog however you want. I'm not. Oh, dude. And then we went to the Chinese theater, and out front I had a Sonora dog. So it was just this Mexican lady with like a metal tray that was being heated by propane from underneath. And it's a hot dog wrapped in bacon. Mm-hmm. And then there's your pico de gallo, peppers, onions like sauteed.
Love it.
Guacamole, ketchup, mustard, jalapeno sauce, mayonnaise on there too.
It's getting radical.
It was a lot, but it was delicious.
That sounds pretty good. Throw an egg on top of there. Ooh, girl. I know that doesn't really do it. Well, okay. You like it?
I'm in.
I love yolk as a condiment.
Sure, I'm with you. But you also had so many sauces on there. When she sprayed them, it was like she had a gun that had all 3 on, so she sprayed it at the same time. Which I was like, I need that.
Sauce gun, onion trough.
All the things a fat boy
I got a present for you upstairs. It's not nearly as exciting as the Zin cake, but I'll give it to you off camera.
Yeah, and then I got a beer for us to drink next week. So nice. I brought back some Russian River beers. But
appreciate it.
It was awesome, man. LA, I got to see Giants Dodgers and Padres Dodgers.
Pretty intense.
Dude, it was like watching playoff baseball. It mattered. Like, so what was great was the night before Shohei pitched. Was not going to that. I was not going to spend $200 to watch him throw one inning.
Did they do like a surcharge for it? Like, did they up it?
Just that, well, all your tickets are on secondary. Everything in there is sold. So you're like not getting tickets through the club. So yeah, when I went on like Tick Pick, it was like, well, if I want to sit top left corner, it was $189 a ticket.
And you got to valet like the whole time. You got to work there.
You gotta work. Well, they did also have, what was nice is they actually had the concession workers going up and down.
Oh, I love that.
Because we don't have those at GABP anymore. There was a guy with a Dodger Dogs pouch. There was a dude with like medium-sized pizzas. Like, pizza? I'm like, wow. Beer and everything. It was great. So that kind of cut down. You don't really have, unless you're looking for something specific. But the night before, Padres, they drill Pages, Andy Pages, and they were like, and he was like, you guys did this on purpose. And he was like, they were like, no, we didn't. We've got other big dogs to deal with. He was like, excuse me, what'd you say? He's like, oh, we have other big dogs. Dude, he went out that night, 4 for 4, 2 singles, 2 homers.
Rad.
Dude, that place was bumping. It was awesome. Giants, Yamamoto got shelled, so I watched my ERA on my fantasy team inflate live and in person. That sucked. And there's this lady who was a Giants fan, one section over, 2 rows down. And so we're like here, and she's like here. And it was Pride Night, and so they had a drone show. And the drones are up in the air. Dude, this lady leans back, puts both of her legs on the seats in front of her, and as the Dodger fans are walking out while the drone show's getting ready to start, she is flipping them off, hitting her weed vape, like she's got it stuck in between her boobs, hitting her weed vape, flipping everybody off while there is a drone show with like 9 different colored hearts going on.
Oh, man. I
and
love
just
her.
like, love is love. And she's like, fuck all of you.
Fuck the Dodgers.
Fuck the Dodgers. We got you, bitch.
Sucking vape from her
It was unreal. I was like, that is some beautiful trash.
That's great, man. That's great people watching.
It's a good trip. It was a great trip.
That's awesome, dude. And we'll hear from Jake about his Alaskan journey. I'm sure it was uneventful.
We won't hear from him since he's a rug now.
He's a rug. That's true.
He's a rug.
We could have interrogated him before. We'll go through his luggage and see if we find anything of interest, and we'll report on it.
We'll report. We'll see what's up. One of the big things in baseball that happened while we were out, the San Francisco Giants, right after, like that Monday, the San Francisco Giants made a trade with the Boston Red Sox. The Giants got Rafael Devers. And the Red Sox got not Rafael Devers. They got Kyle Harrison, who they immediately sent down. Jordan Hicks, who's been hurt. Prospects Jose Baello and James Tibbs. What went through your mind when you saw that alert on your phone?
I was thinking there's a lot more to the story that we're not going to hear. So it felt like there was obviously some static behind the scenes.
Sure.
I don't know what party is responsible to what degree. I'm sure it's a shared sort of situation and kind of dropping the ball with this. So if this is better for his career, good for him. And if it's better for the clubhouse in Boston, this isn't the first time there's been, clubhouse situations where teams ship off players. But yeah, I was extremely surprised. I'm not thrilled that now he's going to be someone contending for a wild card spot.
Yeah, that sucks.
Us. Yeah,
it sucks because he has a real bat. Guy hits doubles, guy hits homers. He's going to just crush it in San Francisco.
Yeah, so I wasn't thrilled to hear about it.
No, I was pretty pissed. I was like, really? God damn it. So there's been tension this whole year. So they hired Scott Breslow to be the president of baseball ops. He didn't sign that deal with Rafi. Rafi is one of the worst defensive third basemen in all of baseball. And so they brought in, Bregman, right? So they bring in Bregman. And they're like, hey, can you play first? And he was like, no, I don't want to learn a new position. They're like, fine, you can DH. And then, there was tensions that kept growing. Bregman got hurt. And they were like, no, we're not going to move you back to third. You're just going to DH. You still want to play first? I don't want to play first. And there's a lot of him being like, dude, this sucks. I don't want to do this. I mean, he went on in spring training. He's like, I am the third baseman. I play third. And, like, that's my spot. I signed up long-term to do that. And Scott Breslow's like, no, I can move you where you want. You're under contract with me. He's like, well, I signed that contract to be here, so I don't want to do that. And it just kept getting worse and worse. I don't know if you saw this. Big Papi went live on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, here's evidence. Devers was not returning my texts. Like, everyone tried to reach out.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, people tried to reach out and be like, bro, come on, like, play a little nice here. And he was like, screw that. I'm not going to text him back. So basically, they just cut him out. And I don't call this a salary dump. I call this a bummer. It didn't work out because of new management. Dump.
Yeah. Got to cut off what's kangaroo. You don't want to let that fester. But yeah, dude, just thinking from the standpoint, and it's very easy for me to be on the outside thinking about this, but why not give it a shot at DH?
He did.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Yeah. And maybe you don't get your way this year, but give your legs a year to relax.
Yeah.
And then maybe, you rearrange some stuff, get some better understanding of, where each of you all are at as far as the situation. And then, maybe suck it up, play first. Or eventually maybe you do get a shot at third, but I don't think you're going to get that by just telling them to sit and spin on this kind of ultimatum.
There's a great, on Wednesday, Eno Saris and Derek Van Riper and Trevor May on Rates and Barrels talked about it. And I would highly recommend all of you go listen. It's like 25 minutes of them talking about it. But the big thing for me that I took away from it was they pointed out that Scott Breslow called him like a commodity and like, and all of these things instead of talking to him like a player. Whereas Buster Posey was like, in their press conference was like, we got our dude. This player is our future. Like, this is who we wanted. Mm-hmm. And instead of talking about them like numbers on a spreadsheet, Buster Posey played the game and also understands analytics and the big part of it. So he sees the numbers on the board and he's like, okay, but also that he's a person. And in the way that they talk to him like he was a person, he's now like, oh yeah, I'll play first, I'll play third, I'll play DH, I'll play wherever you want me to. Mm-hmm. Because he got out of that environment where it was just like, yeah, man, you're just another cog in the machine here. We see you, we're just hedge fund managers.
Faceless, nameless here in this organization.
Bingo. And then goes to San Francisco where it's like, oh yeah, I'm like generational catching talent, but I'm also now running this team and we want you here. Do you mind playing first or third? He was like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Huge move for Buster Posey. This is great for, their club, their franchise. I don't like it, but, they got tremendous talent here, and they're probably going to get a lot better.
I hate it.
Yep. Screw him.
I hate it. Because he'll be at first. Think about it, dude. At the corners, you've got Devers at first or DHing, and then at third, Matt Chapman. And if Willy Adames can get to anywhere close where he was last year, dude,
I know. Hopefully, we don't
and Tyler Fitzgerald at second. Like, they're a good team. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Robbie Ray's turned it on. Verlander can turn it back on if he gets health. It's just so infuriating. I fucking hate the Giants.
I don't care for him either, man. But you never know. The season, we're still only halfway through it, so things might happen. You never know.
Sure.
Not wishing anything bad, but there's still a lot of stuff that can go on between now, All-Star break, and the end of the season.
I know, but dude, think about that three-headed monster of Robbie Ray.
I don't want to.
Justin Verlander and Logan Webb. You want those three starters as your going into a series, and then Duvall closing the door, and then their bullpen that's really good. I don't like that they're good.
Yeah, it's a tall order.
I don't like that there is a chance that we could have three teams from the NL West be in the. There would be two, because I think that either whoever won tonight, Phillies, Mets, you could, I don't know. It could all no matter how it shakes out, realistically, you could have three NL West teams be in the wild card.
Yeah, it's getting pretty thick in there.
I hate it. Mm-hmm. I hate it. It's just so infuriating. So, who knows? We'll see what happens, but we're not a Giants or a Red Sox podcast. We're a Cincinnati Reds podcast.
Pretty sure.
Last time I checked, we have talked about food a lot. But we are a baseball podcast.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, that's it. Last time we spoke to you, the Reds went on a little nice run. They've won 7 out of their last 12, 10 out of their last 15. The real only bummer over this stretch while we were away is that they dropped 2 out of 3 in St. Louis, which they needed those games to gain some traction in the division and the wild card. Why can't this team win in the division?
I think earlier on in the year, they were not playing good baseball, at least very inconsistently. So they did the thing where they lost a lot of games early on that were important. And the teams they were playing seemed to be hitting the ground running a lot quicker than what the Reds did. And now in the situation where they had to play a really difficult series in some scorching, awful, humid heat. And yeah, they dropped 2 of 3 and very easily could have and should have won the series.
Yeah. They should have. I mean, that game on Saturday was heartbreaking.
It really was. It was difficult to watch. I watched some of those at-bats again, and then watching it again, the pitches weren't awful. They made some good, hits connecting, but still, that is something where you need to be able to shut the door. And, a 5-2 lead in the 8th, that should be something where, we can figure it out to win those games.
Yeah. And I don't blame Chase Petty at all. It's a shame he had to go. He went right back down. But, that pitch to Pozo was high and outside, and he just slapped it the other way.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was about like 8 inches outside. I had a bad feeling because I think he did a carbon copy of something else recently, Pozo. And then whoever was the guy that was pretty hot for the Cardinals that hit that home run. There was a handful. But, I mean, that
Burleson or Donovan?
I think it was Burleson.
Or no.
The lefty?
Nolan Arenado hit a homer.
Yeah.
Hit a 2-runner, and I think it was Burleson.
Yeah, I think he's got at-bats before.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, but anyways, that pitch that I think Martinez threw him, that was also 6 inches in off the plate. It wasn't a very hittable ball.
No.
But still, they played more poorly than they did good.
Yes.
And they weren't able to capitalize on having yet another come from behind victory, perhaps, which has been so great to see that the Reds maybe have put that in the rearview mirror of not being able to get up off the mat, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, those games you have to win, and when it's it's so crucial in a tight division. When you aren't winning games, you should win against people within your division.
Right, and when you think about it too, how many games have we had where the bullpen does this compared to where the offense didn't score and to keep in check? That has been more ought than not. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at this and you're going, okay, so the bullpen blew it. Very rare thing to happen. But what has been encouraging is that the offense has picked up, and so they're scoring runs and winning that way instead of losing games that they should have won. Also, the magic act by Scott Barlow on Saturday, getting those 3 outs with the bases juiced.
Yeah, that shouldn't go unnoticed. There were some nice pitching performances that were turned in. Yeah, bases loaded, no outs, and he managed to pull the rabbit out of the hat there. That's very impressive. And then again, I know we talked about Chase Petty, but I think he did a phenomenal job of doing putting together a tough, gritty performance when his number got called.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, so this is your first outing as a reliever. Great. There's a runner in scoring position. If he comes in, we lose.
Yeah, have fun.
Have fun, and then just got so unlucky.
Yeah, and then also, it was great seeing Ellie be able to hit a home run. He's coming into some power. Had a really hot week, cooled off, and then also too he got sick on the field.
Bro, he got so hot he pulled a Hunter Green.
Yeah, dude, and I need to figure out more about that play. Did J.R. House send him and just not see that Gray was coming up from behind him, or was that Ellie that made that decision? Because it was because watching that in real time, I'm like, why are they sending him? But then I saw Sonny Gray, I think in J.R. House's blind spot, pretty much told him to get up because he didn't see, I think,
Sonny busted
around.
Yeah, I think that might have been on our guy Joda, J.R. House, but could have been on him. But also, I think in that situation when Ellie sees the ball go that way, he's gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah.
So it could have been a combination of both, or it could have been, I think it's a combination of both, where JR's like, he might be missing. He's like, go. And then Ellie's like, I think I can still beat this out.
Yeah, make a play.
And they did.
Yeah. And Ellie that was a triple, and he had a 2-run homer that put him ahead at the time.
And barfed.
Yep. So, I mean, he's been playing great and playing through it. I did have a little dip there, but my goodness, some of the balls that he's hitting, going opposite way, showing power from the right side of the plate. I think he's calculating a lot more, how pitchers are approaching him.
I agree. And there's some numbers I'll dig up when we get to the lineup for the week. I'll find those. They're readily available somewhere. But Who reigned this week? Brought to you by Cincy Light. Cincy Light, the perfect way to celebrate the Queen City. Matt McLean went from being someone who, well, we were thinking maybe he needs to go back down to Louisville, figure some things out. Well, guess what? He's figured them out in the big leagues. He's on a 10-game hitting streak. In his last 15 games, he's 341, 408, 591, 591, with an OPS of 999 with 3 homers, 7 RBIs. What has changed for Matty Ice at the dish? And is he finally back to his 2023 form?
I think his confidence has definitely jumped up. I think a lot of the unluckiness that he has had, I think those balls are starting to drop more frequently. And we're seeing him, again, like we're just talking about with Elly, he's going to the opposite field a lot more. He's able to see balls tracking, back into the plate more, and he's able to keep his hands and his weight back. He just looks so much more comfortable at the plate and balance and not offering at some of those breaking pitches or change-ups where he was just getting fooled on a lot before. I feel like he's seeing the ball better.
Yep.
I feel like physically he has, built back probably a little bit of muscle mass. And I just think he's feeling a lot better and more confident.
Yeah. I agree with you on the confidence and the fact that, and you can tell, like you said, taking it the other way. And his swing decisions have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's not going up there being like, I think this is my pitch. He's going up there going, I know this is my pitch. This is what I'm looking for.
He's staying closed a little bit more because I think he was doing that where he was pulling off a little bit, like kind of like just stepping in the bucket. So he was cheating himself there. And I think that was getting exploited for a while. So I think he has tamped that down. And we're seeing a lot of these balls. He's hitting them like 100+ miles an hour most of the time.
Dude, his hard hit percentage and barrel rate are up from his 2023 season.
Nice.
So it's not about the contact. It's about the choices that he's made and the ball and the pitch that he's looking for. He's got it, man. And honestly, when we were talking about it, we were so worried. Like, we're just like, man, should he just go down to AAA? Because, he needs some rehab time. He had spring training. He had some fall ball. But the fact that he, in this amount of games, has gotten back, and when we were so concerned, he's gotten back to where he was. This is why the Reds are rolling. He was the cog we were missing. This is the dude who had a 4.3 WAR in 80-some games in 2023 because this guy gets the lineup going and makes it even longer.
And he's really great in the base pass, too. I think he's still a perfect 14 of 14 for steals.
He's fast.
Yeah, so he is an intelligent base runner. You saw some of the plays he made, I think, a couple series ago where he snuck around the base runner. I think it was in Cleveland, where he just manufactured an out. So he's a guy that even during the worst of his batting, he was never taking that out to defense. The amount of times that we've seen a double play be turned that, for the most part, wouldn't be turned last year, or him ranging the balls both left and right. It's amazing to watch him on the field, and now that it's coming together at the plate, this is what we wanted.
This is no, it's not even this is what we want. It's what this team needed and banked on the offseason, where it's just like, if we get him back to where he is, we are a good baseball team. And we are an above average baseball team.
Yeah, and it should be noted that this is his sophomore year too. So I think people are expecting him to clock that 2023 performance in, but he's still a young guy. We take that for granted. He did miss all of last year, but he missed all of last year.
Yeah.
So, and again, like we talked about, it's a back surgery. It's not like a toe situation.
Yeah.
This is a big part of your body.
It's a huge muscle back here.
Yeah, and have you seen his back, man? Ooh, that's a big back.
Yeah, it's a big old back. You're talking about my back? Here, I'll turn it for you. Yeah, it's a big back.
But yeah, I'm stoked he's doing well, and he's extending the lineup. He's providing pop and Elly to move him back up to the 2-hole probably for the foreseeable future.
Yep.
That is terrific to have him up there with TJ Friel doing well. Elly with the hot bat.
Yeah.
Lux is doing some good things when he's around up there. Stevenson.
Yeah.
So I'm loving what I'm seeing. So this is a perfect guy.
Yeah, I mean, putting him in that 9-hole, putting him there was just like, dude, figure it out. If you can't start to figure it out where there's zero pressure, then that was the next step. But guess what? He didn't have that pressure. Had to be more like conscious of what he was swinging at because he was getting less AB since he was so low in the lineup. So yeah, dude, this is the dude that we thought he was going to be. Just took a little longer than we expected. And I am so glad that Matty Ice has ice in his veins and is just crushing it. And like you said, defensively, like there's a couple plays that it's just like he's fumbled it around, but it's like he made it insane. The range on it was insane to make in the first place. Like that one he had today where it just hit off that heel. It just like happens.
Yeah, I was thinking about, Jonathan India or just another second baseman. Are they able to get to that ball? So I just think it was, again, a tough play that he made it look a lot easier than what it should have.
100% agreed. So Andrew Abbott went twice this week. He went up against the Twinkies. He went 5 2/3, 1 earned run, 8 hits, no walks, 5 Ks. No walks, really cool. 5 Ks, really cool. 5 2/3, almost a quality start. 1 earned run. Not peak Abbott, but still a solid outing from our guy. And he translated that into today with 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, a little light on the K side, but he had 11 called strikes. He had 13 swinging strikes, so which means he had 13 whiffs. Pretty awesome. Lot of weak contact, a lot of fly balls, pounded the strike zone.
Yeah, man.
That's peak Abbott.
I love it, man. And when teams know that, it's like, hey, you're going to have to swing a lot more. And he's like, okay, now I know that you're going to be kind of gunning for some pitches. I'm going to throw in a sweeper a lot more. I'm going to throw in the curveball a lot more.
Yeah.
Keep him off balance. The amount of weak contact that he gets, also, too, his numbers being a fly ball pitcher in Great American Ballpark, that this is a tough dude.
Yeah, dude, he's a confident boy. Dude, what's also crazy when you look at this, when I'm looking at the information that's provided by Baseball Savant, 49 four-seam fastballs, 23 changeups, 11 sweepers, 17 curveballs. Do you know what's different between that start and then the one where he gave up 4 runs against the Brewers?
What's that?
I don't see a cutter there, pal. I don't see like a 2-seam fastball.
No, you don't.
No, which means he's just like, dude, I'm going to come at you with I'm not overthinking this. I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you with fastballs. And then all my secondary stuff, we'll see what happens. So
when you're getting swing and miss on a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball, you are pitching.
That's crazy. He had 4 whiffs on his fastball, 4 whiffs on the sweeper, 3 on the changeup, and 2 on the curveball. So it's just whatever, man. All of them you're missing, dude.
And a lot of his fastballs are set-up pitches, too. I mean, he's getting, a lot of called strikes. He's hanging out in the zone.
Yeah.
He is in the zone.
He's in the zone. Auto zone. I don't know why I did it. I felt like doing it. Yeah, a lot of stuff just outside or inside. A lot of high-low, just trying to get in there and working away with the changeup or inside with the changeup. He's like, this is where I'm going to put it. Good luck.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about this because it's been a while since we've done the pod. He had a complete game.
Yeah.
His first one in the majors. And so that start he had against the Twinkies he was coming off of, his longest start of his career, he still managed to go into the 6th.
Yeah, he still managed to go into the 6th.
With about 5 Ks?
Yeah, and 90 pitches in 5 Ks. So yeah, I'll throw a complete game, 3-hitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again today, it was a sauna outside. People were just dripping sweat. Ellie was puking the day before. He went out and threw 7 innings of 3-hit baseball.
Now, here's the question. Is this guy our ace with Hunter Green out?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
How could he not be?
How could he not? There's no way around it. He's your rock. He's your one. So then so this next guy we'll talk about, Nick Lodolo. He went out against the Twinkies. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks. We have always expected that Lodolo would be, Lodolo Green 1A, 1B. It's more of been Abbott, dude.
It really has been. The amount of success that Abbott has had, not just with his numbers, but how confident and good he looks on the mound, how seemingly I think the Reds do tend to score some decent runs with him, I feel.
Sure.
But, he has been in, his true form, it feels like. He just seems so confident up there, and he's still a young dude.
Yeah, dude, and, this is going to be, barring anything else, the big thing that he needs to do is not just continue getting these results, it's finishing the season.
Yes, and he's not a guy that's pumping in 100, 101, where we're seeing injuries with some of these other guys. He is finessing pitches.
Yep.
He has a very sustainable composition for his pitch mixes. So this has been one of the more exciting things. And we did talk earlier on in the year about how excited we are to see this young pitching staff develop. And one of the brightest spots has been Abbott for sure.
Yep. Yeah, dude. I mean, and he's been mechanically he's cleaner. He's not putting much stress on his shoulder. Like, it's something when you watch, you're like, he's not overexerting. So, dude, huge. And also, I mean, Lodolo getting a lot of weak contact. He's left one mistake over the plate, but like, he's feeling that sinker and setting up the curveball and changeup. The curveball against lefties and righty. I mean, just even though it's not back foot like it used to, just the way that it's moving is so complimentary of that changeup that his changeup has become elite with a really good curveball. You don't see it in the line, but he's so gnarly. If he can figure out his four-seamer, that's still the issue. You look at the plotting chart and you're like, man, he's still kind of all over the place with that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you watch Abbott pitch, he's got his zones that he's tunneling for, which he's going to be working to on the right side of the plate, attacking that with the fastball, be it high, middle, low. And with Lodolo, it seems like he can't find somewhere to use that and have the command of it. But instead, he's just tunneling the changeup and the curveball to get the weak contact and fooling people.
Yeah, I like what you said about him having issues tunneling, and this is also the success we were seeing a lot with Abbott because he is finding that consistent flight path, which will then either dive down, go straight with the four-seamer, curve away.
Yeah.
Lodolo is missing a lot of that setup pitch, which is the four-seamer, because then off of that he can work the sinker, he can work the changeup, and if he wants to throw, his typical out pitch, the curveball, it is all predicated upon setting up that fastball, typically in a lot to lefties. But when he's missing that, it is making the next pitch less effective, and so I think that's a lot of the trouble he's getting in. Like you just said, when he's missing or not making a competitive pitch with the fastball, it renders the pitch he's following it up with not as effective.
No, but it is working. I mean, look at that curveball. He got 8 whiffs on it.
Yeah, dude.
In 21 of those. 21 of the times that he threw it, he got 8 whiffs. Like, that ain't nothing to mess with, but it's just like the next step for him. Like, he's obviously favoring his sinker. He's working inside or outside with it. But it's like he can have the tendency of letting that thing go over the middle of the plate and get owned.
If he can control the inside part of the plate, I think...
Or outside against righties.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying, his ability to find the strike zone and being able to tunnel pitches, once he's able to do that more consistently, he's a very difficult pitcher to square up.
Could be what we hope and what he hope of with him taking the next step and being like an elite dude. I'm not saying that this is what he is doing is bad.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. What I am saying is it's like, man, you could be dominant. If you could get out of your own way and figure that out. Woof. Hot dog.
Yeah, dude. He'll have innings where it's just no one's touching him.
No.
And then all of a sudden he'll veer off a little bit, and all of a sudden he gets into some rocky territory. But yeah, think about the potential 3-headed monster that we could have. Hunter Green, Abbott, Lodolo, and then look out when Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns.
Yeah. Which, who knows when either of those guys are coming up or back, huh? Who knows?
Not to bury the lead.
Oh, dude, that thing is buried deeper than Jake right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. All of his femurs stacked up right there.
Looks like a 28 years later trailer, dude. Nick Martinez, yikes, 2 2/3, 7 earned runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks against the Twinkies. He was just so bad. He just did not have it. If he was throwing and also his velocity was down, dude. His fastball was down almost a full mile per hour.
Yeah, that's crazy, and especially when you're not throwing fast at all to begin with.
Yeah,
that's difficult. So yeah, you're going to have games where you're not going to be on it, but for a guy that relies a lot on tunneling, finesse, accuracy, when you are just kind of, puffing it over the plate, you're going to get rocked.
You're going to get shelled. He just didn't have his changeup, didn't have his slider, didn't have a curveball, didn't have, I hate to say this, he didn't have anything. And he hasn't looked good in his last 2 starts. And I think he's just hitting a bum. He's just, he's hitting back to where we were worried about him.
Are you concerned with him right now?
Not yet. If he does this again, if he does this week, then I'm concerned. But he looked good when he went out and pitched 2 innings in relief.
Yeah, he looked great, had an opportunity to redeem himself, and he did that. And when he takes the mound, when he's got the ball in his hand up there, I feel a lot of confidence because he is a very smart pitcher. He's been in the game for a while. He knows how to get big league hitters out.
Yep.
But yeah, he didn't have it. That will happen, and I'm also not concerned unless this continues and you start to see more of a dip in velocity, because then that will be like, that's a little startling.
It's a little startling. And then also if he's losing command, because he's such a command dude.
Bingo.
Once he loses that, it's over, and you saw that there, and then he got it back. Which, again, he had 52 pitches. So, like, he had some bullets in the chamber, and instead of just having, like, a bullpen throw day, why don't you just do that on the field? And that's what they did on Saturday. And it worked. So I'm hoping that he bounces back. I think that he will. We'll just need to keep track of, like, is his changeup not tipping like it should? Is he not spotting where he needs to? Is his command off? And if his command's off, we're over. It's over, dude. It's over, because that's all he has. And that's not a negative thing, because his control is elite. I'm just saying. Okay. Then Brady Singer went out 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Thing here, he had 9 whiffs, and 2 of them were on the sinker. 3 of them were on the fastball, 1 on the cutter, and what's really concerning, 2 on the slider. He did give you a quality start. 7 Ks, really nice. He had a walk, 1 walk, okay? This might be who he is, where it's like St. Louis, a little bit of a bigger park than Cincinnati. Kind of back where he was in Kansas City. I just don't. We're just not going to see the dude that we saw in April.
Yeah, maybe not. I think he will squeak out some good starts, but there is some things that you would like to see his out pitches have a higher swing and miss rate. You would like to be. I love a pitcher that can pitch to contacts and get players out, stay in the game long, which is a lot of what he's able to do. However, you got to be able to, or at least it is a really beneficial if you can dial up a swing and miss pitch every once in a while.
Yeah.
But not walking people, terrific. If you can get me to the 6th, generally pretty pleased.
I'm pleased. I'm just saying we've seen him be better.
Yes.
And we just are not seeing it. My problem is that we know he can be, and it's just a little infuriating.
It is a little disappointing because I did expect him to be a touch better, maybe have some better numbers, get us a bit more length at times.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's just very much in the rhythm of, reproducing the same starts. There's a lot of parity within his game.
Yeah. But again, not complaining about what he did. It's how he's doing it.
Yeah, we just know he has a higher ceiling, and we are Cincinnati fans, so we've seen a lot of miserable starting pitching over the years.
Yeah.
So this is a good complaint that we get to have.
Yeah, we're just being little bitter boys.
Yeah, and when we're bitter, it tends to help out. I mean, we're pretty harsh on Matt McClain, and then all of a sudden he turned it around.
He figured it out. We're like, send him out to Arizona so they can rebuild him or whatever. Then nope, it worked out, dude. And then we had a bullpen day. Brent Suter finally gave up runs as an opener this season. 2 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk, and then the homer happened. So off of like an 87-mile-an-hour cutter. So it happens. But then you look down the board. Like I said, Nick Martinez gave you 2 innings. Eat Tane gave you an inning with 3 walks, but no Ks. So he got ground balls and got out of it. Lyon Richardson's looked good again. 2 innings pitched, 2 Ks. And then Santillan got rocked like we talked about. And Barlow getting out of it. And then, dude, I love Emilio Pagan, okay? He's our dude. He's the Cincinnati Nightmare. But he cannot pitch more than 3 outs in back-to-back days. You can't rely on him to go out there and be like, can you give me 4 outs? No, I'm getting you 3.
Yeah. I feel bad for Tito because this is also one of those things where you kind of learn that as you go. And you sometimes, I feel like he probably felt... We are really taxed for pitchers, for arms right now. what do you have? And I'm
Sure.
pretty sure like every pitcher's going to say, I can throw 18 innings, you know?
Sure.
So I don't like seeing our closer get more than 3 outs. I mean, I'd love to see him be able to get 2 and be like, it's fine, but it just doesn't seem to be something that you see frequently enough to where you have confidence in a typical closer being able to register and just kind of, I don't know. It's almost like watching a pitcher sometimes field a baseball, where it's just like they just all of a sudden they just forget how to do something. It's like, I only brought 3 outs with me.
Right, this is it. Sorry, my kneecap somehow connected to my forehead. Yeah, dude, and not having Ashcraft, because I think he would have been in that situation.
Agreed.
And he would have been there and he would have got you 4 outs, and that would have connected the bridge.
Yes.
Yeah, and so losing him and not having your eater out there is a bummer, and you're elevating everybody else. You know, you've basically elevated Barlow, but Barlow ain't get you 4 outs either. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all works out, especially, well, we'll get to that later when we get to the rest of the bullpen. But overall, it could have been a worse bullpen day, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, and typically the bullpen has been really good this whole year. It is just a bummer that it happened here, and also they have, like you said, been taxed lately, had one of their stronger arms, one of the more reliable arms go down. So it is a bummer. Bummer,
because then Abbott, like we said, looked great today. So yeah, sorry, keep going into the pen now, because it does transition right into there. Connor Phillips gave you a clean outing, and that's a dude that is, he looks like he's going to be a reliever. He's not going to be that starter that we hoped and dreamed that he could be, when he was a top 50 prospect or whatever, or top 100 prospect. So another elite arm coming out of there. You're kind of hoping maybe he could be the stopgap for a minute. Luis May got sent back down, and then where did it go? They sent Luis down. Chase Petty. Okay, Yosiver Zuleta is back up here. So we'll see what happens there with this pen and how it's rotating without Ashcraft. But you see that there's a lot of... we expected it this year, where it's like, let the young kids come in, rotate them in and out, and then still wait to see where Sam Moll's going to be and all of this, and see where your options are, where it seems like this is a very fluid situation. I feel like you can say that dudes who are set still... going a little over, around halfway through the season, you've got, you have Pagan set. You've got, they just lean so much on Barlow that he's set. Santillan's set. Did I say Suter? No, Suter's set. I guess you can say when he's healthy, Ian Jabot is set. Rogers, maybe. Rogers has been so up and down that it's tough to say, but all the other dudes, it seems like it's a very easy rotating cast of characters.
Yeah, Lyon Richardson's been looking pretty good.
But... Lyon has too. I'll give you that. Lyon stays unless he gets hurt, but then it's just like, okay, then the rest have kind of been rotating in and out between AAA.
Yeah,
I think at some point that's getting condensed.
Yeah, and to speak on Chase Petty, it's not to say that he might not be a starter later in the future, but I do think this is the most beneficial place both for him and the team to be in, to get innings in, major league experience, and a spot opened up. Yep. So, hey, I'd love to have your arm in there. You did great, coming in the 11th.
Yeah.
A very serious situation.
Sure, 100%. So I think because he got optioned again, so I don't know when we'll see him, but who knows, dude? Who knows? I hope to see him again soon, because, we're a pro Chase Petty podcast.
Yes, we are.
So we are. We always have been, always will be. Offensively, like we said, Matt McLain. All right, buddy. And then you look at TJ Friel, who had a pretty good week. 292, 308, 375 with an OPS of 683. And that's a pretty okay week. That's a pretty above average week there. Jake Fraley, 308, 385, 693 OPS. Same, but no power from those guys. Jose Trevino still on a heater in his 3 games that he played. 500, 556, 750 with an OPS of 1.30.
Another double today.
Yeah, he's got 3 doubles on the week.
Crazy.
So those numbers are even higher. So him and Tyler, dude. Tyler DHing and then Jose coming in and catching, dude. That's a
It's
great.
working.
It's worked. It's the whole year. It's worked. So the thing when I'm looking here, I'm like, what is going on? CES has only played in 2 games this week, 125, 125, 125, with an OPS of 250. I understand he had that error against the Twinkies that ended up being a 4-run inning, but is that enough to relegate him to the bench?
Not with the amount of errors that we've seen from the Reds to where they're going to. I don't think it's their style to punish someone unless they aren't hustling.
Right.
So this makes me more than nervous because it leads me to believe there's something more going on. Perhaps because this wouldn't be the first time that there's been some medical issue that they're waiting to talk about. Because when he came up recently, he started to mash immediately, and then fell off. He kind of he extended the zone. He just felt I can just hit anything. And then that got exploited. So I can understand hey, let's tamp him down a little bit. Try not to rush him back. Maybe let him sit a game, come back in, DH, or have him pinch hit. We haven't been seeing any of that.
None whatsoever. He went, I think, since that hot weekend against Arizona, he's like 3 for 21. So we haven't seen it. I think maybe it's not a physical thing. Maybe it's a mental thing because after that error, and then they're just like, well, if you can't play in the field and then you've kind of been not great at the plate, you need to sit down and think about what you've done. You're being
crazy.
bench grounded.
I don't think I just can't imagine them doing that. And CES, by all means, seems to be a guy that relishes being in the spotlight. I feel like he's a guy that likes pressure, and if he's a guy that has an error, he'd probably want to get back out as soon as possible to redeem himself.
Yeah.
So I am concerned. I think they're going to have to answer some questions because I haven't heard anyone talking about it. I don't know what's going on, and we're talking about Jeimer Candelario coming up when he hasn't been producing enough to where it gives me less hope that there isn't something going on.
So it makes me think, I'm with you. So here's what could be the possibility with this. They could, because he has options, they could send him down and bring up Jeimer, which I get. I guess you're paying him, you might as well have him up here. But what I don't get is that Matt McLain had the longest leash. Spencer Steer has had the longest leash. And for some reason, you're not giving this guy the same leash? And that just doesn't... We haven't heard anything about him being negative. We haven't heard anything about him being hurt. We haven't heard anything about him, being a cancer clubhouse. We haven't heard anything where it's maybe there's a hole in his swing that we aren't seeing that he's working on with Valaika in the tunnel, working in the cages. We haven't heard any of that. He's just not played.
And when Santiago Espinal isn't giving you any reason to keep him in there.
Dude, he's got a 53 weighted runs created plus against right-handed pitching. There's no need for him to be out there.
So, that's the other thing where it's just there seems to be so many reasons to have his bat in the lineup, at least for pinch hitting, DHing, but that's something that's been a glaring, vacancy there.
Yeah.
So, and they've been talking a lot about getting reinforcements, getting their power bats back here, getting healthy. This seems to be a big component of the power aspect.
Yeah.
And when they aren't, talking about why he's not part of the equation right now, it makes me nervous.
Yeah, he's the dude that we were and I've been saying it all year, and we even said it before we took our break, which was, this is the dude that we need to hit 30 homers. Candelario's the dude who was brought in who could hit doubles, that could become home runs, that whole dumb philosophy. And then Marte coming up and being this is a dude who can hit the crap out of the ball from the third base position, who can hit you doubles and hit you homers. He's got that power, and he's got that beautiful swing. So you're saying that right now Candelario, CES, by not playing him, he's out of that equation all of a sudden?
Yeah, there needs to be some answers.
We need some answers. Hopefully we get some tomorrow with Jeimer coming up, because they DFA'd Garrett Hampson. See ya.
No!
I know. Well, what a bummer. All that pop, it's gone. Also, our guy, dude, Hurtubise. He got DFA'd.
Oh, got to retire the bee costumes.
Or we just go out to Seattle.
We could. That's a much easier decision.
That's a great decision. So, Yeah, man. I'm just so I'm just. We'll have to see how the week plays out, but like, I would have given CES more of a leash. And I understand there's a log jam at first and third now with people that aren't normally first and third baseman. But yeah, dude, I don't get it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll hear some more stuff coming out here, and maybe give the big dog a rest in critical heat conditions. So he should be rested up, and I'm pretty sure your other boys could use a rest. Maybe Santiago Espinal.
Yeah. Well, also since they haven't made the roster move. The roster move where we talked about they DFA'd Garrett Hampson.
Yeah.
That move is because they called up Rhys Hines, who Rhys Hines in the month of June, 381, 453 or 435 with a slug of 683 with a 21.7% strikeout rate with 3 home runs. They're like, let's give him another go in the right field spot.
That's another thing. I like seeing Rhys Hines get some shots. He's got pop in the bat, and we're seeing how that coming into the equation really helps when you're stringing together hits. But that is also an indication that they feel their power bat, one of them at least, isn't going to pull through.
Isn't it? Because you can't put CES in the outfield, I guess.
No.
So which means you're going, okay, so Will Benson, let's look at what he did last week, just out of curiosity here, okay? So Will Benson last week, 118, 238, 176. And I understand that he's getting unlucky. I get it, but there's only so much time you can continue to be unlucky. Okay. Yeah. And then Jake Fraley, like we said, he can get on base when he makes contact. Very rarely is it going over the wall, and also very rarely is he staying healthy. Same with Austin Hayes at this point. It's not staying healthy. If he supposedly he ran today, took some ABs out, and he would go down to Chattanooga and start his rehab assignment. Everything went according to plan, which I think looking like he will be doing that on Monday. So then one of those dudes from all of this has to go back down. But you're giving all these dudes shots to step up and take the job because clearly no one has done it. And I'm not trying to be rude, but it's just like, you need power. You need a bat in right field. And you've given all these guys shots. So what's the option?
Man, we're going to find out here in the next handful of days.
Yes, we sure are. With the injuries, Wade Miley, bummer, flexor strain. That is a career ender.
Yeah, man, that is such a bummer because I'm glad he had a great outing. Not his last one, but the one before that showed him. He looked like he felt like, I can still do this. That's a big thing for him. So regardless of whatever he chooses to do, I'm glad we got to see Wade Miley pitch again in a Reds uniform. It's such a bummer because you can see how the pitching stepped up right away when Hunter went down, and even the offense had a handful of games where they came back and won. And it seemed like Wade Miley, being a wily veteran, was a guy that could really help with this pitching organization.
Yeah.
And now it's just such a bummer that this could potentially be.
This is it.
It could be it.
Don't you mean a Miley veteran? It's right there. You gotta give it up.
I know.
You gotta give it up, pal.
It's been a long day. We went to Kings Island. It was a scorcher, so we decided to sweat about 15 pounds.
Yeah, I think I lost 20. The other thing, Wade couldn't have better timing getting out of the game, huh?
Yeah.
You heard the report, right? Skaggs?
Yeah, I didn't read what the report is. I know his name got thrown in there.
He was given Skaggs Percocets.
Was it like a ton?
We just said, I just had Percocets, so I'd give it to him. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in clubhouses and stuff.
Yeah,
but
people handing out pain pills that's not the first time that's happened.
No.
It's also on the person taking it.
Yeah.
And it's also I'm sure if Wade Miley knew he had a problem, maybe he would have not.
He just probably didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty normal thing. It's like, I remember like in high school playing football and some guys having like prescription drugs in their locker and then be like, hey man, can I have one? It's like, yeah, sure, you go. Whatever. Like if that happens at a level where I'm like 16, that can happen at a level where they're adults in a clubhouse. And then it was that the problem was that it escalated. Then he went to Anaheim, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and then that doctor was giving him the stuff. So It's not like it's Wade Miley's fault
No.
or anything. I'm not blaming him. It's just a bummer that his name got thrown into that story.
I know, and I want to withhold any sort of judgments on that because that's just something where you don't really know what happened, and there might be some more reporting on it coming out. Regardless, it's an awful, awful situation.
Sure.
And I don't know enough about the truth of what happened to really confidently, one way or another, comment on it.
But what I will say about Wade Miley is those heavy eye bags say that he deals Percocet.
Yeah, he does look like a guy you can get some pills from.
He looks like a guy, you know.
He looks like he sounds like pills shaking. Well, that's Wade Miley.
Wade's here. Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, the rats come out.
Is that 20 milligrams? 20 milligram Wade.
Vi what? Vyvanse? Give it over. So, talking about Austin Hayes. Novi Marte is starting his rehab assignment. He's going this week. So, he can be back sooner than later, man.
That's awesome because I did not expect to have him in the conversation this early.
I didn't either. I guess that, like we've said, and when we've kept tracking, is just like that oblique strain's gotten better and better. So then it looks like you just swap Marte and CS. I don't know. There's just a lot of moving parts that I don't. We'll just have to see what happens. But dude, there's one moving part. There's one guy we haven't talked about yet. Mm-hmm. We've talked about him in excess, about stop holding him down. They said when he's ready. We'll have him up here. And he's ready. Chase Burns is making his debut on Tuesday against the New York Yankees, whose offense has been slumping.
Yeah, man, this is super cool.
It's really cool.
We were talking about it. Give him a competition that isn't a walk in the park for him. He's beyond succeeded in everything that he's done so far, coming up from single A all the way up through triple A. It's just like he didn't give. I love it. He didn't give the organization a choice.
Yes,
it's like you can have me just blow dudes away here in triple A, or I can come up and strike out some of the Yankees batters.
Yeah. Oh, then Nick Krall comes out and says he's like, oh, we're just worried about his length because he was pitching 5 innings and then have like 19 Ks or 37 strikeouts and 2 hits. So he went, oh, length? Then he goes to Louisville, 7 innings pitched, no earned run. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. 4 Ks, 5 Ks.
Controlling the walks.
Controlling no walks or 1 walk. Like his control's there, everything's there. Dude, he said, I'm ready. I did it. Now you have an opening. You have to put me here.
Yeah, there's no more boxes he really has to check according to the Reds. So I'm really, really excited. Mm-hmm. This could be the shot in the arm that this team needs. We were talking about being able to bridge some things with pitching. He could end up just being in the rotation as a starter, or we don't know. I just want to enjoy the first start of this young phenom. It's amazing that a pick that they had in the draft last year is already major league ready.
What is it? I saw that it's been, when he makes his start, it will have been 1 year and 23 days since he made the start in the College World Series. Talk about that turnaround, huh?
That's awesome.
That's so sick.
Pitching, we got great pitching.
Yeah, think about this. The last time the Reds have had a guy make this quick of a debut, Mike Leake. Think about it, because he didn't even pitch in the minors.
No, he didn't.
They just plugged him right in. They're like, he's a finished product. He'll just be a 5-starter forever.
Yeah.
And he was that. He was a workhorse. So, dude, I'm hyped. I've got a really good feeling about it. Like I said, the Yankees' offense has been dipping. They looked real bad over the weekend. Who knows? This could be what the Yankees need is coming to Great American Small Park. Mm-hmm. But this is when you want to pitch against the Yankees. This is when you want, like, hey, buddy, top 5 prospect in all of baseball, shove.
Show them.
Shove it. Do it. Now, one thing that we've talked about, and without Jake, and Jake's talked about it, maybe he makes a handful of starts until someone comes back, because we don't know with Hunter Green. Like we said, when he got hurt, they said there's no timetable. I made the timetable. It's 8 to 12 weeks. So you don't have any other bullets.
You got to get creative.
And it's not even that creative. It's more of just like, come on, dude. Look at this. Come on.
The most obvious answer.
Most obvious. So he can make a handful of starts, and then when his inning limit starts to creep up, you could move him to the pen.
Yes.
And say like Hunter Green comes back or whatever. Then you just figure it. Or shit, here's also what you could do, dude. You could have him make these handful of starts. Hunter Green comes back. You're getting close with the innings limits. You move Nick Martinez to the pen for a little bit. Let Chase hit get close to the innings limit, and then flip it.
Yeah, man.
And have him do the cool down in the pros.
I mean, if you think about it from a numbers and innings standpoint, you do need a lot of pitchers to eat up innings, and Chase Burns could be a guy that could really help with that when we're trying to get some of these other guys like Ashcraft, Hunter Green back, Sam Maul. So there is a place for him now due to injury and his success. So this is super fun.
It's super fun. So what you have coming up this week, you got the Yankees, like we said. It's Lodolo, which appears to be a bullpen day for the Yankees. And then Tuesday, Chase Burns versus Rondon. That's going to be a fun matchup. Rodon gives up the long ball.
You going there?
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there Tuesday. You kidding me? I was already planning on going because $2 hot dogs.
Yeah, I think I need to get tickets.
Okay.
I don't want to go out and do anything else.
Yeah, I want to be there for this. And then Wednesday day game, Brady Singer versus Max Fried. So I'm going to say the problem that we have here is Rodon and Fried. What arm do they pitch with?
What arm do they pitch with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The left one. We're fucked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
We're
it
so
was like
cooked.
more philosophy question.
No, I'm not coming Galileo. I'm not coming at you like
please
that.
Don't.
I also just confused philosopher with astronomer. I was like, I'm not coming Galileo at you with it.
Hey, man, you had me beat.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, I'm worried about that. Can they get it together? Yeah.
We've seen the Reds step up as of late. Well, I mean, not with the Cardinals series, but a lot of times you do tend to play well against good teams. Ellie likes to play in a packed stadium. We got Chase Burns on the mound.
Yeah,
Who knows? Some magic.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie homered from the right side over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. And he's sizzling balls the opposite way.
Yeah.
You know? So hopefully some of these other guys can get their bats going. We will see what Jamer can bring to the table. We will see if Hayes can figure out how to have normal human bones.
And not bruise and stuff.
It's crazy. He fouled a ball off his foot, and it's just like, we don't know.
We have no idea.
But, yeah, I just want to enjoy, hopefully, a great series where, again, win each series. Focus on that. You did great against the Guardians, against Detroit. Had some ups with the Cardinals, but ultimately did not do well.
Yep.
Shake it off. Show them what you can do against the Yankees.
Yeah, and then, dude, off day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Padres. So you've got Nick Martinez, Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo. And then we'll see what the pitching matchups are like later in the week. But I feel good about going up against the Padres. So, because they could be coming off of the high of playing the Dodgers, and then I forget who they had this weekend. I don't remember if it was a divisional matchup, but anyway.
And we're going to Boston after they got rid of Devers.
Then we go, and you know what this weekend is? This weekend is the 1975 celebration, World Series team, the 50-year anniversary celebrations this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, should be fun.
Nice.
Should be a good time. They found everybody. They're going to bring them out, all the guys who are still alive.
Yeah.
Yep, no Pete, no Joe, but everyone else, they'll be there.
Cool, man.
So it'll be pretty sweet. And then we're off to Boston. So I want to close with something that I found extremely interesting. Ken Rosenthal on Foul Territory said, quote, "One team I do expect to be aggressive, more aggressive maybe than we expect, that's the Cincinnati Reds. They've invested a lot in this team already. They've got really good pitching. They've got more pitching coming, and they're a team that seems to be at least one bat away, but a team with some promise. And with Terry Francona, you've invested in him as a manager, I would expect they're going to do some things." You know, I said they're like rotating all these pieces around, trying to figure out with CES what you have at third, and with Marte coming back, and then just anyone with a pulse playing right field. Dude, they're going to go get a bat.
You think so?
I have no doubt in my mind they're going to go find a bat somewhere.
I feel like I've been cucked before, but however the way this is worded, and Ken Rosenthal tends to be a reliable source, I'm interested if they can go out and get a bat that can hit lefties, can contribute right away, in the outfield, most importantly at the plate, provide that pop we've been talking about since last year.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm along for the ride. Give us a little bit more juice here. We are, 2 games out of a wild card spot?
I think it's 3 now. Let me double check.
At least within the hunt. And, the Cubs are playing great. We still have the Cards and the Brewers ahead of us. But we have a good enough core to where I think we can still compete within the division. And who knows, the Cardinals, had a 9-game winning streak. Mm-hmm. The Cubs have been very dominant all year, but teams go cold.
Teams go cold. The Reds, again, 40-38. So we've played 78 games so far. We've played, we are close to the halfway mark. 3 games back in the wild card, and we're talking about this in June 22nd as we record. June 22nd, the day of our Lord. 3 is not that crazy of an ask, man. But the problem is in front of you are the Brewers, the Padres, and the Cardinals. Padres in front of you is a good thing because you play them this weekend. Cardinals, you just played them and you squander that opportunity. And the Brewers, you've played them, but you play them again. You play the Brewers again, and you play the Cardinals again. You play the Cardinals at home twice, 2 series at home, and then 1 more away, right?
I think that's right.
That's correct. And then you've got 1 more series against the Brewers away, 1 more series against them at home. So you can make up ground with those 2. And the Cubs, they're getting Shota's did rehab start and he's coming back. I don't want to call it yet, but they're 6.5 back of the division. The Cubs offense is just too good. If something catastrophic happens,
you got it.
Then I'm going to say, all right, maybe they can come back. But at this point, I'm not declaring them dead. What I am saying is it's going to be a very tough battle considering how poorly we've played in division.
Mm-hmm. Just reality.
Just reality of it. Go get a bat. Go get Luis Robert Jr. He's been hitting lefties, and that's been your problem. Go get him, and then we'll have a bigger list for you. I think the other thing where they were rotating relievers and the young guys is they're saying, what if we get a couple more relievers? Mm-hmm. I think that they could go out and get a big dog.
Yeah.
Say if Boston is collapsing like it is,
yeah.
What says that you can't have a reunion with Aroldis Chapman, who's having an incredible season?
That is an option.
It feels like I'm saying this now again after saying it last year.
Yeah.
He's throwing a 103-mile-an-hour sinker that has everyone fooled.
It's insane, dude. He is just a freak.
A freak. And then he's most likely going to be available. If Rafael Devers was available, Aroldis Chapman's going to be available. So you can go out and get you a big dog.
Yeah.
To help anchor down that bullpen. So big bat, couple bullpen pieces, and you have a team that could start leapfrogging.
Yeah, we had a great opportunity to leapfrog the Cardinals and be just behind the Padres. So it's very feasible. Being 3 games out of a wild card spot, that is contention for almost any team.
Yeah.
And if we, feel, and a lot of other people feel, we're a couple more pieces away, one in particularly being a stronger bat, that can translate to a few more wins.
It can. And dude, what did we say when the season started? Be around.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if it's a rash, put it on early to cream.
What I was saying is, if you're around early, you're around mid, you're around when it's the All-Star break, I think this team is going to make the moves to make it happen.
Good.
And the prophecy is starting to be fulfilled.
Nice.
So I feel good about it.
I
feel good.
I'm feeling excited.
Yeah, I just don't see this offense falling off a cliff like it has already in the past.
They've been improving. The pieces that we've been relying or we thought were going to get better are getting a lot better, a lot quicker. Matt McClain, Steers also looking very comfortable in the box.
Yes.
Maybe Jamer's got some, power left in his bat. Hopefully we'll get something figured out with CES and Hayes. Yep. And Ellie is starting to really amp it up.
Oh, yeah, those Ellie numbers. I got to pull that up for you. I said I was going to.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do it.
But, yeah, at this point, getting to look forward to Chase Burns. And from what we're seeing, Reds making a move, which that isn't something we typically see. So if it's going to be a bigger move where we get a bigger bat, that's exciting because most of the times we're just doing lateral moves. But push the chips in, baby.
So 5 days ago, Lance McAllister tweeted this. This is crazy. LA this season's on pace for 32 doubles, 36 homers, 45 stolen bases, 72 walks, 113 RBIs, and 128 runs. 273, 352, 498, 850 OPS with an OPS plus of 128. All of his numbers up for a third straight year. K's percentage down slightly each year. 37.7%, 31.3%, 26.1%.
That's great.
Walk rate up for a third straight year, going from 8.2, 9.9 to 10.2. Percentage hitting ball opposite way up third straight year. Again, he is 23 years old with 330 MLB games with 1,433 MLB plate appearances. Again, this was 5 days ago, but still, dude, LA's on pace to have another killer season.
Yeah, dude, if you could tell me we got a guy that can hit 100-plus RBIs, that is incredible. And do want to point out that I know a lot of people will get on him for having a high strikeout rate. Would you say that was like a 6-point drop? Also, his strikeout rate is very close to Shohei Ohtani's strikeout rate.
Yes.
So let's tamp it down like a little bit. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah. What did we say when he came up here? We were like, anything that he can get below 30, we're thrilled. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting at 26.1.
Yeah.
That's like around the average.
Yeah, and if he drops that even lower next year or even throughout this season, it's hard to argue with that man's talent.
Correct. And then you're going to waste it and not push the chips in while you have him. And while you have him cheap.
Yes.
That's the big thing. You have him cheap where you don't have to start paying him arb money.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound like a seal there. But this is when you start to push him in. This is it. And with this report from Rosenthal, it's coming, dude. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, man. Castellini, call me. I got like $20 I can throw in for something.
Yeah, I'll be there 3-2-1, dude. I'll eat as many hot dogs as you need me to eat to flip and go get Robert.
Yeah, I'm going to dump some money into your ballpark on Tuesday. That's for sure. I'm going to eat a bunch of dogs, beer. I'm going to be screaming.
I'll tell you, I'm dumping money into a ballpark, but I'm telling you, I'm not going to do it out of a hot air balloon.
Ooh.
You see what happened?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. That's why you don't go into a basket that's full of gas that goes up. That's dude, what are you think you're a villain from Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yeah.
Come on. Silly.
Yeah, I don't travel by wicker basket
yeah.
as a rule.
Again, any type of air travel via balloon, I'm out. Balloons are made to make swords, to watch kids hit each other, animals that are fun at parties, and then if you have that weird kink where you sit on and let them pop, that's all that balloons are for.
Yeah, they're not for travel.
Not for travel. I'm not taking air balloon anywhere.
Not doing a mode of transportation. Unless it's an Uber, then maybe.
Maybe. Uber balloon, sure.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll try it once, but I'm not going up. I'll go that way, but I'm not going up.
You will get there 3 hours after your expected arrival time.
What happened? Balloon ran out of air again.
Yeah, wind was blowing the other way. Sorry.
Oh, man. Let's round third and head for home. What do you have, pal? You're busy getting after it.
Yeah, I got some shows coming up. I'll be featuring at the Go Bananas Comedy Club the 26th through the 29th. So check that out.
Who you working with?
Brad Sativa.
Oh, Brad rules.
Yeah, he's in Nashville, but he wasn't there when I was just there.
Ah, right on.
Yeah, but yeah, so come on out. Brad's super funny. I like to think I can give you some giggles. So yeah.
Yeah, you can.
What do you got going on?
July 25th, Chris and I will be at Rheingeist Brewery. Get your tickets at bombsawaycomedy.com. Dave Hill's going to be your headliner that evening. You might have seen him opening up for, I don't know, some guy named Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. So go check that out.
Yeah, buy those tickets because they will sell out.
They will sell out. We're on a good pace. So get there while you can. And then August 29th, we've got, from last podcast on the left, Ed Larson headlining at Rheingeist. So those are two great shows that your boys are on.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. And if you've been to Rheingeist, I'm sure you guys have been to Rheingeist before. It's a blast. And it's going to be in this nice room. What is it called again? The Clubhouse?
It's the Clubhouse.
It looks so cool. It looks like an old nightclub. It looks like it was made for comedy.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've got going on. Thanks to Sports Drink. Congrats to Sports Drink. They bought another building that they're turning into a full-time comedy club.
Heck yeah.
They bought an old fire station.
Woo.
So congrats to them. They're still hosting the audio of this podcast, so go check them out in New Orleans. InTheClutch.com. Dude, okay, I don't know if you saw this over Fanatics Fest over the weekend. It's crazy. Fanatics released these soccer jerseys that are NFL jerseys. I was like, that's pretty cool. Except that In The Clutch did that months ago with Ellie De La Cruz, dude. Be ahead of the trend. InTheClutch.com. Promo code NastyBoys. All caps, 10% off. And get that Ellie De La Cruz soccer jersey. Thanks for having me back in the fart dunge. I missed you, pal.
Yeah, I missed you, buddy. I'm glad we could get down here. I mean, Jake's dead, so whatever, man.
Yeah, dude. He's bones. He was bones.
Yeah, he's stacked up bones right now.
Yeah, he's an ornament. So whatever. A polar bear got him. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to have you back here and glad to be back home. And I'm glad that the Reds are going to be in an exciting position here. It's going to be fun the next few weeks.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. I mean, they beat the best team in baseball in Detroit, and then just kept it rolling, and then St. Louis had a hiccup. But, dude, let's take down them Yankees. Let's do it. Thank you for watching and or listening. And as always, go Red Legs.
Go Red Legs.